schools, they actually were having a doubt as to whether the Buddha had miraculous powers or not. And so actually the Buddha was challenged to manifest his various miracles, and whenever he was challenged to manifest these various miracles, he would always kind of say, now is not the time, I'm going to manifest these miracles later. I'm going to manifest these miracles later.
So
the miraculous manifestation only came at the correct time, although there was great insistence. The Buddha would travel from place to place and he would say, now is not the moment, it will have to happen later. And there are stories even that some of the followers of the Buddha started to have some doubts, like, is the Buddha really capable of manifesting these miracles or not? So then at the time when the time came for these miraculous feats to be displayed, there was a great sort of assembly that gathered and witnessed them, including kings, their subjects, many people of various lands. Yeah. And so then the sort of most, shall we say, miraculous of these various feats was the last one. And according to the calendar, the last one is usually celebrated at the end of this period of 15 days or so. And so we speak about the miraculous qualities of the Buddha in terms of the miraculous qualities of holy speech, the miraculous qualities of holy body, and the miraculous qualities of holy mind. But it is actually said that the qualities of holy speech are the most miraculous. So why is this the case? Well, let's think about it. So Shakyamuni Buddha, he worked towards and became enlightened, became a fully enlightened Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, to be in their service. And it is through his holy speech that he gave the instructions that bring the most benefit to all those sentient beings. So that is why the speech is most paramount. However, for his holy speech to have maximum benefit, to bring about that welfare for his disciples and sentient beings, then they would need to have great faith in his pronouncements. And it is for the reason of arising great faith that, for example, the Buddha brought forth miracles of his holy body. This was to increase the faith in the practitioners. And so also this day, right, the first day of this period, it is a period where merits are multiplied, so we want to begin by accumulating virtues. And so what we want to do is think this period of increased merits, not just follow this sort of based just on faith, but to use this as an opportunity to cultivate mindfulness by being mindful that this is a time of increased merits. Hopefully what this does is encourages us to improve our efforts in the study and the practice of the teachings. And one of the important things to remember is that although outwardly it is a time of calamity in samsara, right, we can say generally that problems and obstacles are falling like rain. If we use this time, this special time, to recollect the holy qualities of the body, speech, and mind of the Buddha, this can also be a reminder that if we practice, we are capable of achieving this ourselves, right? So this is very important. Yeah. So this kind of sense of urgency, right? If we have brought forth an attitude of mercy for sentient beings, an attitude of love and compassion for sentient beings, then we could think, my getting out of samsara isn't the most significant thing because I can stay within samsara for as long as possible to benefit beings. But the thing is, we want to reach that realization quickly because we realize that there are those sentient beings that are close to us, those beings with affinity to us. And until we achieve that, they are going to be stuck in this situation of suffering. So if we develop this mindset, right, and if we firmly set ourselves on the bodhisattva practice, then we are going to be able to remain steady. And these small problems, these small inconveniences that we face within samsara, these are not going to be able to unsteady us. So we need to know the benefits of this practice of the bodhisattva vows. We need to know the destination that this practice helps us reach, and we also need to know the potentialities to achieve this that we hold ourselves. And we also know that in terms of a basis, this body, this human body that we possess now, there is none more precious than this from the perspective of practice. So if we look at it, both the outer and inner conditions that we require, they are all there. And if we try to encourage ourselves to understand and to practice, we are definitely capable of achieving that. So then there's one thing that is kind of not okay that's throwing us off meeting this goal. What is the one thing, the one obstacle? We are not able to maintain consistency in our practice. This is the obstacle. Other than that one big reason, there's no reason that we're not able to reach the goals, actually. So then, just kind of recollecting in this way that we are very fortunate, we will continue with this morning's activities. Yeah. So we'll begin. So we'll begin with the praise to the Buddha, Abhilash, from our usual morning prayers. Not the transmission, the praise to the Buddha from prayers for the beginning of the teachings. Yeah. Perfect, yeah. Tenpa chom den de de jin je ba dra chom ba yan da ba zo pe sang ge je ba dang shab su dem ba de war she ba je den gem ba ke bu du we kalo gyurwa lana me ba la da mi nangi temba sangye chom den de pe ja
shakya tu pala chaselo chede kya suji ho Tenpa chonden de dejin shepa cha chompa yanda pa zope sangye shepa dang shabsu tenpa dewa shepa shiden champa chebu dewe kalo jorwa lana mepa ladang mi namgi tenpa sangye chonden de pe jawa shakya tupa la chase lo chede kyabsu chi ho tenpa chonden de dejin shepa Dajom ba yanda ba zobe sangye reba dang shabsu demba dewa sheba jiden chemba chebu duwe kalo jorwa lana meba ladang mi namgi demba sangye chomdende bejawa shakya tuba la chase lo chede kyabsu chi ho mandera.
Yeah.
So we'll do the short mandala.
Soji begi jojing me do jamri rablingji
Refuge and bodhicitta.
Chedan sogi chenam la jangchu badu tani kyabsu chi dagi chenyen gi be senam gi jola penjir songi jobar sho Chedan sogi chenam la jangchu badu tani kyabsu chi dagi chenyen gi be senam gi jola penjir songi jobar sho Chedan sogi chenam la jangchu badu tani kyabsu chi dagi chenyen gi be senam gi jola penjir songi jobar sho
So then, not much to say here, just briefly recollect that the virtues, the merits that we create, this is for the purpose of liberating sentient beings from their suffering and leading them to a stable happiness. And so because we don't have the power to accomplish that effectively right now, right, for this reason then we need to rely on the holy beings, and in order to do this, until we reach enlightenment, we need to go for the refuge in the final suitable objects for refuge, the three jewels. So the three jewels, when we go for refuge to them, not only are they able to completely release us, to free us from all fears, but they are also able to bless us, to provide us with all that is needed. So then, with this understanding, we go for refuge, and then bringing forth this wish that we wish to be able to free all sentient beings from suffering, to place all of them in lasting happiness. And for this reason, we wish to achieve Buddhahood, full enlightenment. So in the prayer that we'll be transmitting at the end of the session today, Line of the Shakyas, Geshe-la said part of what is narrated is how Buddha Shakyamuni, as a practitioner, first brought forth this bodhicitta mind in a previous lifetime, during a time of one of the previous Buddhas. Zamasana? And in this previous lifetime of the Buddha, so this is before his enlightenment, he was the son of a potter. Geshe-la said, someone who made clay pots to hold curd, to hold yogurt. And so the story goes that, as a child, from having one of his father's pots and offering the curd within it to the Buddha of that time period, this allowed him to first bring forth the bodhicitta resolve. So he prayed to the Tathagata, to the Buddha of that time, on the basis of dedicating that merit. In the future, may I come to possess the fame of your name. May I come to possess the same abilities you do. May I accomplish the same activities that you do. And so the names is in Tibetan of this previous Buddha is Shakya Tupten, right? Tuchen, sorry. Shakya Tuchen. And the name of the present Buddha of this time period, right, is Shakya Tupa. So the Tup part of the name, it kind of... So the Shakya, the family name, is the same for both the previous Buddha and the current Buddha Shakyamuni. And the first part of their name in Tibetan, the Tup, it's the same. So it honors that connection. And so this is based upon where Buddha Shakyamuni, right, as a bodhisattva practitioner, first brought forth the resolve to practice bodhicitta. And so this is a very important moment. And so the prayer that talks about this, which will be transmitted today, this is one that so it's a prayer that is made normally when the senior monks complete their Geshe degree, right? It's one of the prayers that's recited at that time. And there's a special tune as well that goes with this prayer when it's recited. So Geshe says he has not a good chanting voice at all, so it was very difficult to try and follow that prayer. So during this period of the holy days, right, Lama Tsongkhapa instituted this tradition in order to kind of recollect and honor the kindness of the Buddha. He introduced this tradition of the Munlam Chemo, right, the great prayer festival. And so Geshe said that normally this would start a little bit after Losar, on maybe the 7th or the 8th day of the lunar month, and then the prayer festival would go on for about a week until the final day of these days of miracles. Yeah. And it's one of the nice traditions that these prayer festivals now are being held by various traditions all around the world, actually. Yeah. So Geshe believes that so Geshe believes that at the Tibetan Cultural Center in Toronto, this will be one of the places where they have a prayer festival. Tambo Lung. So Geshe said that he was thinking he would do the transmission the Lung first, but understanding this is a work day and people might want to renew their vows, we'll do a brief Bodhisattva ceremony first. So we'll begin with the Bodhisattva vows. So we have to bring forth this we talked about the motivation a little bit, but we want to be able to take these bodhisattva vows to actualize the potential, to actualize the power within us, and in order to be able to So to achieve the welfare of oneself, to achieve the welfare of others, this will help us to actualize, to achieve the state of a bodhisattva. And when we embark on the bodhisattva path, we're embarking on a path where our own happiness will begin, and where we truly become capable also of providing some happiness to others. And the type of potential that we uncover when we make this commitment, it will be like a warm sun providing happiness in our life. So in the Bodhisattva Charyavatara, it explains very clearly that many of the merits that we accumulate, these can be greatly degenerated or even eliminated when anger arises. But merits that are collected, conjoined with this mind of bodhicitta, they cannot be degenerated. They will remain powerful. So in the verse that Geshe is going to have you recite, it will be in Tibetan, but we're just going to give you the gist of the meaning. It's going for refuge, confessing negativities, and rejoicing in merits. That's the first part. So all of us have within us, right, from previous lifetimes up to now, negative or unwholesome actions that we have accumulated. And those negativities or unwholesome actions, we can see them as like stones, potholes, or other obstacles on the road, right? They're things that can trip us up. So to bring forth the mind's potential in the context of this ceremony, the first step is to clear away those rocks, those obstacles of the unwholesomeness. And then as the verse continues, after we go for refuge, confess, and rejoice, we bring forth the bodhicitta aspiration with the promise. This is saying that we will bring forth the Bodhi mind and promising to do so. And we also talk about inviting all beings as our guests. So when the verse says invite all beings as our guests, what does this mean? Think about how you behave when you have an important guest in your house, right? You cherish and you honor them. So this line is really to help us cultivate this awareness to see all sentient beings as near and dear to us. Yeah. And once you invite someone as your guest, you do your best for them. You're not just going to invite them to your home and ignore them, right? You would be seen as a terrible host. So once we invite them, we want to provide them with food, drinks, and other comforts. So in the same way, now that we've invited sentient beings, we want to benefit them.
세비 넘바 자 체쇼래 니바 체쇼래 사태 대고 데르다 소지데 다 그야 강강한 생체 요절 야와메 바제기 강에 강가 메바 저기 사 야와시도 집엔들 길레저기 아래.
So this is the most sort of powerful part of the Bodhisattva vows, is that we invite all of them, right, without discrimination. 차창와 간데서 그래. 예와 메빠 다보치 되네.
세시워스 근데 저 노지 그야 강가 파트 제기 강에 강가 메바 저기.
Without discrimination, we invite all of them as our guests, and following that, we make the commitment to provide them with everything that they need and to try to relieve all of their difficulties and sufferings.
다 던지지 자다 니 그와 옛날에 총정도와 옛날에 던지고 길레지도 차서는 개와 차바바바레세.
And because this aspiration is so powerful, it is said that once you bring it forth, whatever activities you engage in, even just normal things like sleeping and walking, there is a constant rainfall of merit that can manifest. So if we think about these things carefully, there's a great reason, right, to develop this bodhicitta. So we will now just do we already gave you the meaning, so just repeat as well as you can after Geshe-la for the Bodhisattva vows. Yeah, so Geshe-la said he thinks out of the two, the Bodhisattva vows and the transmission, the Bodhisattva vows are the most important. So that's why we're doing the Bodhisattva vows first. So we imagine as we recite these vows that in front of us is Buddha Shakyamuni, surrounded by a field of accumulation of all of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And we imagine that as we recite the words, we are making this promise to achieve what we were just discussing.
Kuncho sumla da chabji. Dipa tamche so sha. Joye gela ji rong. So refuge in the three jewels, confessing individually all negative actions, rejoicing in the merits of all types of beings. Bring this forth in your mind. Sangye chudong tsocho la. Jangcho bardu da chabji. Dena rabdu chir. Jangcho semna cheba ji. Jangcho chogi sena cheje ni. Semchen tangje dagi dondu nyer. This is inviting all beings as my guest, but inviting all beings as my guest, seeing them as the same as that person, the very closest to me. Semchen tangje dagi dondu nyer. Jangcho chejo yon cheba ji. Rola penche sangye drupa sho. That's the first recitation, now the second recitation. Kuncho sumla da chabji. Dipa tamche so sha. Joye gela ji rong. Sangye jangcho yigi su. Sangye chudong tsocho la. Jangcho badu da chabji. Rangjen dena rabdu chir. So this is a beautiful promise to achieve all of the welfare of others and all of the welfare of oneself. Jangcho sena cheba ji. Jangcho chogi sena cheje. Semchen tangje dagi dondu nyer. Jangcho chejo yon cheba ji. I will see all sentient beings as attractive, as worthy and beautiful. Drola penjer sangye drupar sho.
So now we'll do the third and final recitation, and after we complete this recitation, and as is normally said, if this is the first time we're receiving the Bodhisattva precepts, then we should rejoice that we have been able to receive them perfectly. If we have received those Bodhisattva precepts previously and they have degenerated, which will be the case for most of us, right? We make little mistakes, then we imagine that any degeneration is cleared away and that the precepts are revived. If you haven't gotten angry since the last time you took the Bodhisattva vows, then you can say with some confidence that they haven't degenerated. Otherwise, they likely have. But if it's the case, right, that you have not, that the Bodhisattva vows haven't been degenerated at all, you think that those already perfectly abiding ones are flourished, strengthened even more. So repeat for the third and final time after Geshe-la. Dipa tamche soso sha. Roe gela je rang. This rejoicing, practice rejoicing in the virtues of migrating beings, rejoicing in the virtue without jealousy, appreciating all of those virtues. Sangye jangshu yigi sung. Sangye chidong tsocho la. Jangshu bardu da chabchi. Rangje denu rabdu chir. Jangshu sena cheba ji. Jangshu jogi sena cheje ni. Semchen tongche dagi drendu nyer. Jangshu shenchu yigung sheba jo. Jangshu sheshu yon che barji. Drola penjir songjin drowa shu. Drola penjir songye drowa shu. Shunju senpa chayala ta jatsa cheshu to cheshu nipa cheshu jirasta tedo inji mejita bojana temonyagi sombaji. So think now I have received within myself a potential to truly, really be able to become a bodhisattva. Having received this precious potential or seed, I will always be mindful and protect it. Oh yeah. What is your symbiote but the digit that and this on Nine Pret or Achilles, Kanga eat the Kanga, Zewashis at Tonsona, Kanga take it test, then they see what your armor was. So, in this way, we have done a very brief ceremony to receive the Bodhisattva vows. If you can bring forth the mindset that is described here, you will truly be able to appreciate all the beings you encounter as the person who is closest to you, as the person who you cherish the most. And think about it. If you're really able to do that, so many of your problems and disagreements are just going to diminish. Even if in the external situation problems are falling like a steady rain, because of this motivation, right, one can remain without difficulty. So, in our practical relationships with human beings, right, sometimes we may engage with a little wrathful manner to stop harm. Sometimes we may have to maintain some neutrality or equanimity, but it's very important to understand that that is our external manifestation, but within our mind, we always cherish all those beings. If we are able to keep these and maintain these vows, then our mind will be vast and open. We will be greatly at peace, so we have nothing but profit to gain from this. So now Geshe-la is going to give the oral transmission for the prayer Praise to the Buddha, the unrivaled lion of the Shakyas. So this was composed by Lama Tsongkhapa as a way to be mindful of and to recollect all of the qualities and kindness of Lord Buddha.
Nama shirin garam benzo goka ya kasam badung beja tazan doje tibezo kanjo sujan nawayi kongge shaben zisha sege jibe paje jibe ga tazin yuje de mebe su ni ma shi don le sai tu tayin doyin de chu shaji to tande ji halewe tsi nian bo ha.
Yeah, so Geshe said beautiful verses. So we're on the second verse, page 26. Glorious body, bathing in splendor of its golden glow, voice unrivaled by the melodies of celestial music.
Tabi kala shayi zakano chete ina yusa sawa ja tun zo cheche ye de zunye mandi sawa ra kene tun zo cheche ye de zunye mandi
dazer pobe chuke zunujin.
다시 본배 취시 현재 라비 소모니기 인스 제지 이제 제가 예쇼대 주제대라 투지 제제공 투지 제제공 가메 소제 갈라다와저 자세 보노지 그네고 방노지 도마지 주제 자유 거지 수지 더더다 너게 제가 계획에서 자와동의 용서 지비가 용서 지비가 너게로는 저저 담아 원배 잡으셔도 디시시 디세리니 주베송베레 용서 제베 라마투라 제자도에 멜라마시 니지 청와간에 레바저 뭐 제제 전주 시도도 제제 비행기 이수에다 베데 말레스니는 반자반 트라벨도니 티나저 다제 과자마저 오르니 집에시인데 말레 번데 제레 첼레 잡아세
That's in good job. Yeah. So Geshe wants to gloss the verse at the bottom of page 28. Without weapon, without armor, you routed unaided 1,000,000 demons. So this is an amazing thing, right? That without using sort of like modern weapons, we can think of spears or even things like guns and so forth. Without anything like that, he was able to defeat conditions that prevented the benefit of beings. This can also help us to recollect the moment when the Buddha was meditating under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya and he was approaching enlightenment, right? And the demons, the Maras, becoming upset with this, they threw all kinds of spears and chains and weapons. But as those spears and weapons and so forth approached the Buddha, they transformed into petals of flowers.
So
we can think of Lord Milarepa saying that when the external poisons or dangers have been defeated, there is no external poison that could harm one.
Research about me, Channel, Tangela, no ma, Javalu, the Radu, Sapi to lying, Lebaton, Lebio, to the Tamba, the Denze, Bache, Yiteko, was teaching the Teso teaching, wanted to go to Gavati and Zavati to Banya Shawa. Chejo goes to Chejo goes to the Swan, Sando, Jazzy, Rujanetti, Cheto, Mamma, 从东欧波苏去美洲查，你听懂中这个几个从这个也得等你查从这头个买呢，你得为啥现在就得搞搞讲这段要嘛。
So if even the hearers and the solitary realizers cannot approach the qualities of the Holy Lord Buddha, then what need to say of the various worldly and other types of gods or devas?
The Dino Tanes of Jola, Bazi, Lavana, Mevanola, Chile, Colasha, Nimanga, Hacho, Baba, you see the Vajenju, both the Gage, use the Jesuit, Pegata, Guapi, Gumba, Gocho. 예 좀 제가 들려 드자라 마도 돈요 주제 뭐가 예 강에 더 그냥 받거나 제 뒤저를 쳇라 신저 까메비 되네 주전이 뭐더 데레 지시 자와 마저 대세가 같이 저와 지지 순기 대체 원바 메바 쇼 대지체 바탄디 티치 다다 대지체 바 체크 전라도
So now as we come to the end of the prayer, Geshe-la is just pointing you to the first dedication verse on page 34. He's saying this is very important, so I'll read it out in English. Tathagata, whatever your holy body, retinue, lifespan, and realm, whatever your supreme and beneficial holy name, may I and others become exactly like that.
첼라데제 소와타베데 다소 군데네미 사주데 네동 뭐 타제셔와도 치도다시 병원제도 소 때만이데 코서셔마도 때만이게 저도 사와 덴저 벌로저도 덴바이리 니비 짜시쇼 오다 티제데 가슴빌리테 다 가슴빌리테가 나이나다 되게 제시 잡아제 사르마도 로 저지 정하는 데 저로로 주사래 네다 나로 아주 자치 뭐지니 고초소아
So Geshe-la said that in terms of this prayer, Lion of the Shakyas, this is actually one of the prayers that he first memorized in this life. He said he thinks he was maybe like 13 or 14 years old or something like that, and his uncle really wanted him to memorize this prayer, and so he's saying he feels compassion for this uncle when he wasn't able to memorize well. He would give him a slap, so he remembers memorizing this very clearly. So we'll end today just with this confidence that we have been able to do something beneficial, to do something well today. And so then with that as much as possible, we want to study and practice the teachings. With stable, joyous effort, right? It is as if the aspiration is carved into a stone. So then we can leave today's session this morning with a joyful mind determined to bolster our joyful effort. So with this human body, with this human mind, anything we set our aspiration to, we can definitely do it. Any problem or difficulty we have, we can definitely cope with it and heal it. And so in the Bodhisattva Charyavatara, it reminds us that we have this human life with the freedoms and richnesses right now. If we don't set ourselves to do practice now, when will we do it? And Geshe-la continuing to quote the verse, the essence of which is that if we do not seize this opportunity now, then when in the future will we have such an opportunity again? So then with a joyful mind, let us lift our hearts and rejoice. We'll do the short dedications and prayers for the teaching, then we'll close for today. If we're very careful with our practice and so forth, then whatever work we can do, we can conjoin this with our bodhicitta intention. Yeah. So whenever we think, whatever work I'm doing, whatever activity I'm doing, may this only result in welfare, in benefit for others, right? Then that work isn't just about getting a wage, it also becomes a bodhicitta practice. So let us dedicate the merits. Jangjo samjo rinpoche maje panam jejo rachi jeban yamba meba yang gone gondu pewa sho tongni tawa rinpoche maje panam jejo rachi jeban yamba meba yang gone gondu pewa sho Jambe pao jidar kyamba tang kundu zambo deyon de jente deda kungi jesu dalo chir gewa dida tamche rabdu ngo dusu shebe gyawa tamche ki ngowa gangla chodu ngaba de dagi gewe tsawa dikun kyang zambo joji rabdu ngowa ki Gangri rawe kowe jingam di pendant dewa malu jungwe ne chenri ziwan tenzen jatso yi shape site bardu tenjo chi.
Soma no ji lo ju nyo le o ta pe pe soma ta bu ge pu su ba ta ji le ji de lo shu soma.
So may these virtues become a cause for our study and practice to be able to unfold exactly as they wish, for our aspirations to benefit others to be actualized. So we'll pause there. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on this workday morning, and maybe we see you Sunday for teachings. Take care.
Happy Losar,
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Happy Losar, Marta, and everybody. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Happy New Year.
Happy Losar. Happy Losar.
Thank you.